Hello and welcome to the Pleasurepreneur podcast. This podcast will help you create what you desire in your business with pleasure. Whether that be calling in your ideal clients, making more money, or creating a balanced business life blend. I'm your host, Regan, pleasure and business coach, published author of A Mother's Pleasure, wife and mama to 3 little wildlings. However you're choosing to listen to this podcast, ask yourself, how can I make this more pleasurable? And do just that. I acknowledge the custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded and produced, the Wadi Wadi people of Dharawal land. Now, let's proceed with pleasure. Hello and welcome back to the podcast, or welcome to the podcast if you are a new listener. If you are, welcome. I hope you enjoy this episode. Well, for all of you, I hope you enjoy this episode. You will notice if you are a long-time listener, I do sound a little bit stuffy today. I'm very nasally, sinusy. I have a bit of a cold. And I think this is the cost of going out on Saturday night and having like the time of my life. And I am absolutely welcome. I've welcomed this cold. I am so happy to embrace the cost of that night because it was so fun. I had the best time. It was a night out for our mate Mike's 39th birthday, and we went to this somewhat local venue. Started at 2, finished at midnight. We got there about 3. I danced for the entire time. Actually, no, I did a lot of sitting and talking as well and putting glitter on people's faces. I had this pot of glitter. So I decided that day I was like, I need sparkles. And so true to form, I waited until like a couple of hours before I had to start getting ready. I was like, okay, I'm going to go into town and go shopping and find a whole entire new outfit that's kind of like sparkly and festival-y and fun. And then one of my girlfriend was like, I have a pot of glitter. And I was like, that'll do. I know what I'll wear. I'll wear something out of my wardrobe, but I'll put glitter. And I had some of my 4-year-old daughter's like diamantes that could stick onto my face. Yes, it was so good. Anyway, so I took the pot of glitter with me and then I started asking people like, hey, do you want some glitter? And the amount of people that were into this, like, I shit you not, I want to say like 70% of the entire venue by the end of the night had glitter on their face. It was a whole thing. I had friends saying that they were in the bathroom and people were like, where's Regan? And everyone's like, who's Regan? Yeah, there's this chick that she's got a pot of glitter. Like is that where the glitter's coming from? Yeah, where is she? And people like trying to find me. I was like, oh my gosh, how did it take me 39 years to realize that I just get to talk to everyone and get to meet everyone at the entire venue with like no resistance or barriers when I have a pot of glitter. I get to be like popular. People are looking for me. Oh, for me, that's pure awesomeness. I'm a Leo. I don't mind to be the center of attention. In fact, I like it. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. I was like, this is just like the perfect night for me unlocked. The music was epic. The company was great. It was just so good. So hence the don't give a shit about my my congestion. It's fine. I would take it any day. But listen, you don't need to know about my sinuses this episode. This episode, I'm here to let you know something that maybe you haven't thought of yet or you don't realize yet, which is the fact that you are so much closer than you think. You are so much closer to enrolling the kind of clients you want to enroll, bringing in the cash flow and the momentum that you desire, calling in like those multiple 4, 5+ figure months, hitting that next limit that you see for yourself as success, that is so much closer than you think. And I want to share with you why that is, how I know, and what needs to happen in order for you to reach that next level of success that is like literally at your fingertips. Or I want to say actually literally at the tip of your tongue. All right, you'll get what I'm talking about in a sec. So I know from my own experience, from the work that I do with my clients, that a lot of the time we assume that we're not there yet. Right now, actually, before we dive into this, just have a quick think about like where that next level is for you. Okay, maybe it's an increase in your income. Maybe you have space in your calendar and you can call in more clients. Maybe you feel like there is this kind of stop-start momentum for yourself and you want to make it a little bit more consistent. Maybe you are creating consistent income, but it feels really hard and like it's exhausting you and you're up until all hours and you really want to call in something that's a little bit more easeful. Like, I just want you to get an idea of what that looks like for you. And before we kind of move on, let's just see what that feels like in your body, I think sometimes we avoid dialing into that feeling because it's some kind of a protective mechanism should we not achieve that goal. It's like our body trying to protect us from disappointment or rejection or fear of judgment or embarrassment, fill in the blank. None of those things feel good in our body. It makes our body feel really uncomfortable. So sometimes we can, on paper or even in our mind, have an idea of where we'd like to go to. But yeah, we don't let our body feel it because we want to protect ourselves just in case it doesn't come or just in case it doesn't happen. And part of the way we make it happen is by feeling it, like feeling the good feelings, feeling the like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, I knew this was going to happen. For me personally, so often when I do feel as though I've hit that kind of next level, one of the predominant feelings I have is like such self-assurance, like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. Like, I'm actually not losing my mind over this. And I don't have this huge, like, excited, like, overjoyed, amazed feeling in my body because part of me knew that this is where I was headed and knew this is what was available to me, So this inner knowing, and that feels really good to hold that feeling in your body. Now, this isn't what we're actually doing in this episode. This isn't like kind of the key for you to actually call in what you want and to bring it to you quicker, but I just want you for a moment to take note of, number one, what could be that next level for you? Let's get kind of clear on that. Maybe you've got some ideas in your mind, and then invite that feeling into your body. You are allowed to feel the success now. You are allowed to even celebrate the success now. I find so often we can practice disappointment ahead of time. We can practice it not working ahead of time. So why not instead, let's go up to the other end of the spectrum and practice celebrating ahead of time. Practice feeling so happy that it arrived ahead of time. So often we can come up with a plan B or a back door, just in case it doesn't work out. Or we can kind of consider like, oh, well, this might not work. So you're already feeling kind of flat and a bit disappointed. And okay, that kind of a vibe, I don't even want to say vibe because I don't want to make it sound like toxic positivity here. But those kind of thoughts and feelings, we don't need to practice them ahead of time. We don't have to make ourselves feel the disappointment or any of those kind of feelings ahead of time. We can actually choose, as I said, the other end of the spectrum. We can actually choose to feel elated that it worked. We can choose to feel like so proud of ourselves for knowing we knew where we were going. And so self-assured in like, hey, like I knew this was available to me, So right now, know what it is that it is. Let me start that again. So right now, just have a moment, catch in your mind what it looks like for that next level of success for you that's just around the corner. And then feel it in your body. Like, let's go below the neck for a second. Let's feel it in our body. What does it feel like? Let yourself feel lighter. Maybe you feel some tingles. Maybe there's some butterflies in your belly. Maybe you just feel really grounded. Maybe it makes your chest open up. Maybe it makes you take a big exhale. Maybe it feels like relief. Just dial into whatever that is in your body. If you're not driving, you might want to close your eyes and feel that. Yeah, like that state is available to you now. You do not have to have what's at your next level before you're allowed to feel that. You're allowed to feel that now. And in fact, in feeling that now is actually going to shorten that gap between what you want and actually having what it is that you want. Okay, so we've gotten clear. We've started to feel it in our body. I've taken you off on a little bit of a tangent. Well, actually, you didn't know it was a tangent, but I did know that it was a tangent. This was not how I was going to start this episode, but I think it's a great way to go. Now, what I want to share with you is this. I want you to consider perhaps why you think you don't have what's at your next level of success just yet. Like, what might be some of the things? Now, coming to mind, you might be thinking, well, I haven't grown a certain amount of followers. I don't have X amount of followers that I think I need. Maybe you don't have like a really fancy looking website. Maybe you don't have some kind of fancy funnel. Maybe you think you need a full on like system that can take on, enrolling clients and bringing them into some kind of a platform. And you kind of want to have all that sorted in the background. Maybe you feel like you've got to be on a certain amount of podcasts, or you have to have made a certain amount of money or experienced working with a certain number of clients before you're actually able to get to that next level. Now, I think part of growing our business is actually evaluating perhaps what is working and what is repeatable, and also what might not be working and what we can improve on. And so I do not doubt that this is part of that, where you're starting to go like, oh, okay, obviously I'm not there right now. Something's missing. I need to do more of this, add on this, pay for that, maybe do some professional photos, look more professional, whatever it might be. And I'm here to tell you that, look, those things add value. I do not deny that, but you are so much closer than you think to creating more money and signing more clients, bringing more consistent cash and pleasurable momentum into your business from doing one thing. And that one thing is learning to sell with pleasure without adding on any more bells and whistles, without needing to add in more funnels, upgrade your website, get professional photos, have a whole bunch more new followers, make more money, sign more clients. Like the thing that you can do right now that is not going to take you any more time, that is not going to take any more investment in your finances or your energy, that's actually going to feel so much better for you and have you excited and lit up and using actually your inner desire and what brings you pleasure as this like infinite energy source available to you. The thing you can learn to do to experience all of that and call in more clients and make more money right now is to learn to sell with pleasure, is to enjoy selling your offers, is to enjoy promoting your work, is to actually find pleasure and feel lit up by sharing your services, by sharing your products, by selling what it is that you have to offer the world, to the point where you have what I call this shout it from the rooftops energy, where you're like so energized and lit up and you're like, this is the best thing since sliced bread and I want you to have it. When you enjoy selling, you remove so much resistance to selling, right? Because remember, when we enjoy something, when there is pleasure, we are drawn to it. We seek what brings us pleasure and we avoid what brings us pain. So if we feel as though selling is painful and uncomfortable and embarrassing and people are going to judge us and like, let's practice that discomfort or that disappointment of like it not happening, that creates resistance. Now, I don't doubt that you're already selling. I don't doubt that you're sharing content, that perhaps you're inviting people to come and work with you, that you've got some great lead magnets, that you have got epic copy on your website, etc., and you're directing people to your sales pages. The difference is when it brings you pleasure, when you enjoy it, when you find a way that feels really natural for you, that it just feels like, I think we made a reference in a recent podcast of like when you feel as though you're just recommending a great restaurant to a friend. Like imagine if you've got a friend coming to stay locally to you and they're like, hey, where should we go for dinner on our first night? You want them to have a really great experience. You want them to enjoy themselves. You want them to ensure that they're making the most of their money. And so you're going to be invested in letting them know about like a really great couple of options for a restaurant, right? And so that's what it can feel like when we enjoy selling in our business. It feels like, oh, yes, I get to help people I love and care for make the most of their money and give them a good experience and have them experience what they desire, create the results that they want. And it gets to feel good. And what happens because of it feeling good? Like what happens when you actually do enjoy selling, when it doesn't feel uncomfortable, when there's not resistance, when it does feel like recommending a great restaurant to a friend, when it does feel like having that shout it from the rooftops energy? What actually happens then is you sell more. Like you will go out and sell more because you enjoy it. And because you're selling more, as in like promoting your offerings, selling your product or service, talking about it more, inviting people into it more. Because you are selling more, you will sell more, i.e., like you will make more sales. The more people know about what it is that you have to offer, the more sales you're going to call in. If nobody knows what you have to offer, if nobody knows why to hire you, if nobody knows that they can even pay you, then you're not going to make it many sales, right? Oh my gosh, doors to the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind are opening soon. And yes, I am already having some pre-sale chats, so if you're feeling that pull, DM me. But that's not what this message is about. I have been thinking about those of you who are going to be jumping inside the mastermind for the next round and what you're really desiring right now. Yes, you want to enjoy your business, but what you really want is to be making more money and signing more clients in a way that feels good for you. So I've created something completely free for you. It's called the Pleasure Powered Sales Series. I love a bit of alliteration. It is a 5-day email series that shows you how to make way more sales with way more pleasure. We are drawn to what feels good. And when selling feels good, you want to do it more. And when you do it more, you make more sales. So hit the link in the show notes, pop your details in, and get ready to learn how to sell with pleasure. These 5 days will shift how you sell, how you show up, and how you make money forevermore. So when we enjoy selling, when we enjoy that process, we sell more, we make more sales. And not only that, because I know obviously the title of this podcast is about making more money and calling in more clients. Not only are you going to be making more money and calling in more clients, right? Awesome. Great metric to improve on in your business if that's something that you want. But also, if you know how to sell with pleasure, you're doing it in a way that feels really good to you. And as I said earlier in the podcast, it's not like you're then having to dredge up all this energy and this motivation to force yourself to say the words and sell what it is that you have to offer, even though it feels so uncomfortable and embarrassing and whatever. Yeah, when you know how to sell with pleasure, it's easy. It's easeful. It's enjoyable. It's like having a natural conversation with a friend. It's like, again, having that recommendation of a great restaurant. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't drain your energy. It doesn't deplete you. It actually stimulates you. It actually gets you excited. It actually energizes you, right? How cool that you can make more sales from a way that actually fuels you, that you can call in more clients and feel more energized. I think there is this preconceived notion that the more you sell or the more clients you have or the more money you make, the more depleted you're going to get. So of course, if we have that kind of a subconscious belief, we're not going to actually want to make more money or call in more clients because I'm going to guess you're probably busy and you probably don't have a huge amount of energy at your dispense, right? I am going to guess that it would be great for you to have more energy right now, to feel more energized. That would probably be something that would be part of that next level success for you. But yeah, if you have this preconceived notion or assumption that making more money, signing more clients is going to require more hard work and more energy and make you more depleted, immediately that is going to cause resistance to you actually calling in more clients. So part of knowing how to sell with pleasure is obviously you're going to sell more and make more sales and call in more clients and make some more money, but also it's going to fuel you. It's going to have you feel so good in your body. It's going to energize you and it's going to give you that evidence that actually, you know what? When I make more money and when I call in more clients, it doesn't drain me more. It doesn't require more energy. It isn't I don't require more hard work that I don't have in the tank, In fact, it feels really good to me. I feel so aligned. I feel so fulfilled. It feels really fucking good. Yeah. So this is what happens when you learn to sell with pleasure. Pleasure is not an indulgence. Pleasure is intelligence, right? When you know how to utilize pleasure in your business in many different ways, but especially in selling with pleasure, that's really clever. That is a really clever way to, I want to say straddle your reward system. That's a really clever way to utilize the biology and the neurology in your brain and in your body to actually create what it is that you desire in a way that is enjoyable and feels good for you. And this is how I can confidently tell you that what you want, that next level version of success for you, that increase in cash flow and calling in incredible clients, is so much closer than you think when you learn how to sell with pleasure. Not just because of the energy that you're going to bring when you're selling, not just because of the energy that you're going to cultivate from enjoying the process, but also from having your subconscious see that actually it's a really great idea to learn to sell with pleasure, because bringing in more money and calling in more clients is actually something that benefits you. It's not something that requires more energy. It's not something that requires more hard work. It is not something that is going to deplete you. So that is how I know it is just around the corner. I have seen it time and time again with my clients. I know it's true for myself as well, and I know it's going to work for you as well. The money that you want is not months away. It is not on the other side of a massive reinvention. It is not waiting for when life gets less busy. When will that ever happen? Let's be real. The money you want and the incredible clients you want to sign, they are on the other side of learning how to actually enjoy selling. When selling feels good for you, it becomes natural. It becomes natural to share more boldly. It becomes natural to invite people in more often. It becomes easeful and natural to talk about your offers with enthusiasm instead of obligation, instead of oh, okay, I tick the box content, or oh, I've got to bring myself to show up again. And it feels so much more natural for you to then show up like someone who believes in her work. And when all of that happens, simply from learning to sell with pleasure, because you're going to be selling anyway, right? You're using your time and energy to create content, to make the invites, to promote your work. Why not let's use all that time and energy and do it in a way that feels really good for you? Find the way that is most aligned and enjoyable for you. When all of that happens, when you are using your same amount of time and energy to share more boldly and inviting more people often, etc., when all of that happens from learning to sell with pleasure, clients come in faster. Cash flow increases quicker, right? Momentum builds. Let me say that again. Momentum builds. You feel powerful and on purpose and lit up, and not because you forced yourself to sell, but because you followed what feels good when selling. Yeah, pleasure isn't the reward for success. It is the resource to success. It is the route to success. The route. This is exactly what I help my clients to do, both inside the mastermind as well as working with me one-on-one. And this is also what I have now bundled up and packaged into a freebie for you, with a bunch of different free resources that are going to help you learn how to sell with pleasure. When you work out your way to sell with pleasure from what's inside of this bundle, then you will see that what you want is so much closer than you think. I am seriously looking forward to DMs landing in my inbox from people downloading this freebie and just being like, oh my God, Regan, I thought this was going to take me years to hit this goal. And I've done it in a matter of weeks. Regan, I thought this was going to take me months, and I've done it in a week. Yeah, these are the kind of results that I see my clients achieve. Because when you know how to utilize pleasure, it makes things so much more easeful and aligned and enjoyable. So to get your hands on this completely free resource that is going to help you to call in clients and make more money with so much more ease and enjoyment, and for it to happen so much quicker from learning to sell with pleasure, all you need to do is go to the show notes. There will be a link in there. I want you to click in there and add yourself to the list. It is a 5-part email series. So as long as you're on the list, you will get those emails for you to consume and play with and bring into your business and start to see these shifts happen really fast. If there is anything I know for sure that is going to have you call in your next level of success so much faster than you think, it is selling with pleasure. And the bonus is, it is a skill that you then have for the rest of your life. You are then going to be able to know how to sell anything and everything that you value, that you have in your business, in a way that feels so good for you, in a way that calls clients in and makes you more money in an easeful, enjoyable way. And I think, what could be a better skill to learn than that? Okay, I think it's time for me to wrap it up here and make myself maybe like a ginger and lemon tea or something like that that's going to help with this post-party sinus situation. I'll leave that there for you. Click the link in the show notes, as I said, and join us for the Pleasure Powered Sales Series. Let's fucking go.